Hey, Scrapbook friends, it's Nicole from Nicole's Scrapbooks, and I am here with episode 4 of Theme Park Thursday Series 2, the one where they go to Disneyland. But we're not at Disneyland yet, so this is our last pre-Disney layout that's going to go in our vacation album. Last week was the layout of us flying out to California. This is our first meal that we ate. Our first day, we arrived early afternoon, I think. We'd gotten up at the crack of dawn to fly, and so we were starving. And just up the street from our hotel was this House of Chicken and Waffles, which I guess is a famous LA food joint. Katie's best friend Aubrey had been living in California, and so they knew all the tricks and places we had not known about prior to having a local-ish person to show us around. So I knew I wanted to do the waffle, kind of going into the layout. I knew I wanted to do the waffle, but the chickens were a little bit later addition. I had so much fun with them. They were super time consuming, but here's a little spoiler. Look how cute they are. So stay tuned to see how I got from boring old waffles to chicken and waffles. All right, so you may be thinking, Nicole, this is supposed to be a Disney scrapbook. When are we going to get to Disney? I promise we're getting there soon. But this is part of our trip. We had flown in that day. I can't remember what day of the week it was. And, you know, you don't want to spend a Disney ticket because you pay by the day. You don't want to spend a Disney ticket for, you know, if you don't get in until evening. If you're lucky enough to have an annual pass or something like that, then it's a little different. But we didn't. We had single day tickets. So we had to go eat somewhere. And just up the road from our hotel was this Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles, which sounded very interesting. So there we've got some chicken and waffles. And so I have a few pictures of that. Here's our little Mickey Tsum Tsum lunch dinner. And there's Katie and Princeton and Aubrey, chicken and waffles. These need to go up at the top. That could go at the top. That could kind of go there too. Walking to Roscoe's. I could cut that down, although I kind of like the palm tree. Now I did that last time. I kind of have this same style, so maybe that's not what I want. Maybe I want something a little bit different. The one thing I was thinking would be fun would be to maybe create a waffle. And so to have like, you know, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I was thinking I could just cut a circle and then cut some lines and crisscross them. I'm a little bit afraid if I do that, it's going to look like an apple pie. I wish that I had like we used to have these place and punch that they were magnetic, and so they didn't have a side. You could put them anywhere on your paper, but I don't think we had a square. I did spend a whole day going through boxes trying to get my room back together. I unloaded about 10 boxes, forgot that I had tons of sewing stuff, other kind of crafts that weren't related to scrapbooking, and discovered it was emotionally exhausting for me to only go through boxes and make decisions about what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to get rid of, and then how do I get rid of it? What things have to just be thrown away because they're not very functional anymore? What things I might take to the thrift shop, what things I might have to go to a friend. So I still don't have my whole scrapbook room back together, but it's better than it was. And I feel like I'm just going to keep doing, you know, a little bit all the time. So this is 7 pictures. I don't really want to do this because this is just what we did last time. I want to keep them in there. You kind of do it like this. I can't decide if this is a vertical picture or a horizontal picture. I almost think it's a vertical picture. That kind of messes me up. Do I want to do like a big waffle and put these on there? And then I could do like one of these. You know, I do this layout a lot, with just the 4. That could be fun with a big old waffle. I don't have a chicken. I do have that Chicken Coop punch. It's at the studio, but that would be kind of fun. A fun way to use the Chicken Coop punch. I could just cut I mean, it's a house, right? I could do House of Chicken and Waffles. Maybe I could put that across the bottom right here. That's a little bit silly, but I could do that. But I feel like in the last album, I did tons of those circles. So I think what I want to do is cut the circle somehow and maybe have a half circle here and a half circle here and not do just this same layout that I always do. Again, I've got this whole 2 stripe things going on because that's just easy. But this one doesn't really, it kind of goes off by itself. I guess I could do, I can't do those across. That's too many. And I can't really crop too much. I can't do these because that's too croppy. I could do I could do a kind of a collage page maybe, and put little waffle things in the little sections. Gosh, I always do that. I always do that 2 and 2. We did one in the last book where instead of doing it kind of like this, if you remember, I did it like this, and then we put stuff on the outside, and I liked that. I kind of like that way. I could do a big giant half of a waffle right here. And then another like half a waffle over here. And then maybe I could come back and do the Chicken Coop across the bottom. That could be fun because I gotta tell you, I bought the dang Chicken Coop because I'm a Creative Memories advisor, and that's what I do. I buy them all, but I thought, when am I ever going to use a Chicken Coop? I'm never going to have chickens. I'm never going to raise chickens. I could do it like that. Or I could do it like that. But I gotta say, I want to use the Chicken Coop. So let's see if I can find a brown that feels like it's kind of waffle colored. All right, I found this one that's called light brown. I think it kind of is the closest to the waffle color. I don't know if I want to use like the large circle, kind of that size waffle, or if I want to use the big jumbo and use a big giant waffle, like halfway across the top. I'm being drawn to the bigger waffle. I could even use my circle cutter, and that gives me more choices. And I think the table was wood, but I think that's going to be too much like brown. So I think I want to do something else. I wonder if I have any like a gingham tablecloth might be cute, but that might be too much gingham. Let me see what I can find to be my base page, and then I'll decide kind of what size my waffle's going to be. And this may not work. I mean, it may just be that, maybe what I should do, because, waffles don't really have those pointy edges, and I don't want it to look like apple pie, which I've done that before. If you cut with like the wave blade and make a lattice, it can look really cute. But what if I cut squares and then rounded the corners and then put them in? But then you got all these little halves. Oh, that would be so tedious, but it would be so cute. Maybe that's what I need to do. But let's find a base page first. So one of the hardest things about having such an extensive collection of old Creative Memories papers is that it does make it hard to choose what background I should use. I kind of like this plaid. I know that surprises you. It kind of looks tablecloth-y. but there isn't really a lot of blue like in the pictures. So I don't know if that would go. We got the blue sky, and that might be too many squares, although I'm going to put the big circle. And then I pulled out this one that was called Stitch Sentiments, and I like this one, this paper. It's got the little kind of texture design, two-sided. I don't know if I even have two pieces of it, but I do worry that that's going to be too much brown. I have that piece. I've got two pieces of it. Oh, that's not a full piece. That's only a half piece. This is that. I got the green. So that's the other problem with some of these older papers. See, I was playing with some punches with this one. I mean, I got this one. Oh, that's not the whole piece. That's the one I saw already. Okay, so that probably can't be. This was Deep in the Woods. So if you're tracking what CM is doing right now, they just came out with deeper. Oh no, Beneath the Pines. Never mind. This isn't Deep in the Woods. Forget I said anything. But it's got this wood grain paper, which has kind of the circles on it, which are a little bit waffly shaped. So I kind of don't hate the idea of using that. But in that case, would I even want to do the waffles? And then that just kind of changes everything. So maybe no. And then I found this one, Spring Medley, which had this fun kind of ginghamy patterns, which I thought could be a good background. Or this one. I kind of like the tableclothy. I mean, there's only red and a little bit of blue. I've got the blue. I got two pieces of the gray and two pieces of the blue. Maybe I want, well, but then is it too many squares? This is the wrong color. This teal is the wrong color. Ugh. I mean, I guess I could just use a cardstock, but I'm using the waffle is going to be cardstock. I like to have a pattern. What else could I use for chicken and waffles? All right, Serenity, for some reason, is a pack I've got tons of papers from. And it had some, like, oh, you know what? I did a use the pack class from CCI. So that's some of this in here. But I kind of, oh, I've got some Fast to Fab papers from here. I kind of like this one. And I have two of it. I have more than two. Kind of like that. And then, does the waffle go? Maybe the waffle goes. I think I actually like that a lot. And I have other pieces from Serenity. I have the blue. Is this side, but I don't think I like that. I have some laser cut borders. I've actually started putting my finished pages that are done, like use the pack, in a separate bin in this crazy scrapbook room redo, but I haven't gone through all my folders, obviously. But I would love to use up some of this Serenity. I think I'm going to use this paper and then make a waffle. We'll see how that goes. And if I hate it, I maybe won't. I maybe won't use this paper. Like we could go back to this blue plaid, or even the polka dot might be cute. So I'll keep this handy. This is from Denim Blues. I'll keep this handy. And I think if I'm going to do rounded squares to make my waffle, I was talking to my daughter before I made this video, and I told her my idea, and she said, why don't you just cut it on your Cricut? And you know, I could, except my Cricut's a silhouette, but I want to use tools that, you know, I want to do it myself. I do love having a silhouette. I actually do have a Cricut and a Cricut Joy and a brother Scan and Cut, but I don't like to use them. So I think I'm going to do my own thing. I do wish I had some little, because if I put the squares on top, that's not how waffles are, right? Waffles are like they go down, they're not sitting on top. So maybe I do just start with the lattice cross and hope it doesn't look too much like a apple pie. So I'm going to use the red blade on the inside for my waffle because I'm going to have to do a border. And actually I'm going to come down here kind of close to the edge so I can have some pieces over here that I can cut my little stripes with. I don't need to have this centered, but I tell you, it does make it, it's a little traumatic to not center it on my page. But now I've got all these extra sides. And of course, a waffle has the squares that hold all your syrup are bigger than the in between. So we don't want it to be the same. So I think maybe some 1/4 inch stripes. And I'm gonna need my 13-inch cutting mat, I think, to get these all positioned. And part of me wants to do a double layer of stripes because I want that depth. It's either that or use foam squares. That would be a lot of foam squares. But I want it to look not like this is just sitting on top. I want it there to be dimension and thickness. And the only two ways I know is to do a couple of layers of the cardstock or use the foam squares or foam tape. I do have some foam tape. I'd have to cut it the long skinny way, which could be a little bit of a pain. I'm gonna probably need all of these and more, but I have some that will be the outside edges so they can use these. Although I do have a little bit of a gap in between, and maybe what I need to do is cut a spacer and decide how big I want the gap between my little waffle things. I actually did look online to see if there's any, like I looked for waffle scrapbook layouts, see if anything inspired me. And there is a company that sells a waffle print scrapbook paper, but it was kind of more like waffle cone. And actually Creative Memories had a waffle cone paper, years ago. Gosh, I wonder if I still have any of that. But it was more waffle cone than waffle. All right, so here's my circle. Here's my mat. And I don't even know how to get this centered, so I'm just gonna kind of line it up on these edges. And it's about a 9-inch circle. It's kind of centered between those lines. And then if we put waffle, oh yeah, even this one fits, even these little short ones. I'm gonna cut another, like a ring to go on top. What do we think? Does this look like a waffle? Kind of like it a little bit wider, actually. It's kind of looking like a waffle. Hard to tell while it's just poking off the edge. But I mean, I think you're obviously going to know it's a waffle when I do this. And I think I do want maybe a 1-inch gap in between. I'm going to grab a piece of cardboard. And if you've been buying CM stuff for a while, you probably have lots of pieces of this cardboard. This is what comes in our page protectors and our paper packs, all of that. I'm going to cut a 1-inch wide piece. You do want to give it a couple good presses with your trimmer to make sure it goes all the way through. And then I'm going to use this as a spacer. So we're going to take this off. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and put some repositionable tape. I did get the jumbo repositional tape runner refill, and I've not quite used up all of my jumbo tape runner, but I'm going to swap this out anyway because I want to use it. I want to try and play with this. So if you have one of these, I don't keep that little protective cover on it. I know that I should, but it's such a pain to take off, and I'm not transporting this. But right here on the bottom is just a button. You just have to release this. And I'm not really used to doing it yet, so there we go. So it's this piece stays attached, and that's a little hook. So that's what you want to do. You want to press down on this enough to release that, and then it's super easy to just swap this out. You can see this guy's almost empty. And I'm just going to swap this in. And of course it's bright green, so you know which one you're getting. And then I'm going to take some of these little, I'll start with the longer ones. Oh, it rolls so nice. I thought when this came out that I wasn't going to love it because I love the other tape runner so much. I've tried lots of different brands. I have an ATG gun that I used and liked for a long time, except it just got so big. But I really like this, the 9-inch, so right here between 4 and 5 is the middle. But I really like this. And actually I think I'm gonna put a little bit more in the middle. And then we'll put one right here up against this edge, and one right here up against this edge. Was it supposed to go underneath? Just using this as a spacer, and maybe that's going to be too big of a gap actually. But it's all repo, so we can try it again. Do a couple more. This is about 3/8 of an inch wide, which is 1.5 1/4-inch strips basically. So it's easy to do 2 at a time, especially if it's not, you're not doing pictures or something that is heavy. Hopefully there'll be enough of it to hold this down. And I think now I'm going to go with the shorter ones. It looks like I cut too many strips. Uh-oh. But having a little template to help you with something like this spacing can be really helpful. It is feeling very apple pie-ish. But we'll see. It's going to look like a waffle, I'm sure. So the hard part is going to be then making sure that these are square. The first one, it doesn't really matter because it's just a circle. And I don't know if we're going to need to go all the way to the edge because the top circle is going to cover that. Okay, so now I've got this piece and I'm going to turn it. And again, I'm just centering it between the 9-inch line. So like the 4.5 is halfway. And if I just line that up, so that one's straight. And I put this between the 4 and the 5 again. And I'll take the long pieces. We'll crisscross them. I don't know how this is gonna go, y'all. And I kind of wish I would have done, well, I guess I couldn't have done a different size circle. So I put a little bit more adhesive on this one just so that I have more places to stick down. I don't know, it looks kind of like a waffle. I'm thinking about that waffle ice cream cone paper. Thinking, you know, that probably would have been fine. I'm actually going to Disneyland later this summer. I'm very excited. I'm going to be able to take Michelle there for her birthday. There are going to be a few videos this summer that will be, I mean, they're all pre-recorded, but I'm gonna have to stock up before I go. So hopefully you won't be able to tell which ones I did 2 weeks in advance. I never really talk about the new products in these videos anyway. And I know that you guys would understand if I needed to miss a week, but after all these weeks of being consistently here every Thursday, I want to be consistently here every Thursday. Oh, I just did one. That was silly. But I think this one, again, it's going to be right there on the edge, and I don't need it, so. So here's my waffle. And I could just use my circle again to try and cut it off, but because I'm going to put a top outside edge, I'm just going to come around. Actually, I'll get from the back. I'm just going to snip these guys off. And it doesn't even matter if I cut off a little bit of the circle because the top circle is going to go. I probably should have cut this circle with the green blade, and then I would have had a little bit of grace, and I'm not going to have to get as close up to the edge, but I hope it looks like a waffle. I want it to look like a waffle. All right. Kind of looks like an apple pie. Do I want to do a second layer to give it that? I think because it's woven, I don't like the woven look. I want it to be, you know, because it's woven, it looks like more like an apple pie. The second layer of these things gives it more of a shadow. And I have enough of the pieces, I think. I don't quite have enough pieces. I'm like short. And I have another piece of paper that I'm going to cut my other piece out. Oh, I think I need to do a second layer. Oh, I don't want to need to do a second layer. That's a pretty thick waffle. Let's cut the circle for the next one, the outside, and see what it looks like. Again, I'm going to cut it here, and because I'm cutting a ring, the trick that I learned was always to cut in ABC order, right? Higher it is in the alphabet, the farther away it is. So if you're cutting a ring, you always cut B before G before R. So we're going to cut B first, and then you want to make sure that you don't move your ring before you do the cutting, or before you cut the second piece. So I'm going to cut my B ring, and this is only going to give me like a 1/4 inch ring, and I might have liked a 1/2 inch ring, which probably means I should have used the circle cutter. But I will admit that the custom cutting system circle is really nice if that's the size you need. I'm just going to leave that in. Now I'll put the red one in. I hope I cut all the way through that on the blue ring. I didn't test it. I like to always test it before I pick anything up, just to see. Okay, so that moved by itself. There we go. There's our ring. So we're going to put this on top of here. It looks like a waffle. It looks like a waffle. I don't think I need to add too much more. Maybe it needs some shading or something, but I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do that shading. You know, it's gonna be fine. Right here, my circle always has that little string. There's probably one on here. We're just gonna go with this. It's gonna look fine. Put this on. And the nice thing with the custom cutting system circle is, you know, it's always going to be exactly the same size. So there's our waffle. It looks like a waffle. It's fine. It does what I wanted it to do. And I don't want it to be like the focus of my paper, that people look at it and say, oh my gosh, I love that waffle you made, because that would be silly. So now let's pull this out and see how we feel about, we'll put some more things away. See how we feel about the waffle on this brown paper versus the waffle on the blue plaid paper. Lots of red in here. I think I want it to be kind of that diagonally section down there. Maybe I have to cut this in half first. So one of the things I love about the trimmer is how easy it is to cut a circle exactly in half by using this little valley right here. And I think I want to cut it like against, like down this diagonal line. So by putting it up so that both sides are touching in here, I know that it's centered, because that's the center of the circle, and I can see down here that it's going right down the middle. All right, I'm going to take a deep breath. Here we go. Gonna need a little extra piece on this corner. The other edges were okay. Yes, I do still have the small one handy right here. So there, that can be there. This could be there, or I could cut this into, trim those little edges off. I could cut this into wedges and have a little quarter of a waffle. If I wanted to. I kind of like it like this, but maybe I need it to be more on that section. Chicken and waffles. Now this is us walking there though, so it should come first. Maybe that should go there, and this should go there, or like this. This little border is kind of making me feel like I need to work around it when I shouldn't feel that need. And I've got these 4 pictures again. Alex eating his chicken. Kind of a before and after. Maybe I don't need, I don't know. I probably don't need both of these. This is the before and this is the after. No, it's not after, but I have no idea what's in the bowl. Surely nobody got something besides chicken. I don't like this little space in the middle, but I kind of don't like it right there either. Oh, and I don't love this. It's not, oh, I was going to do the chicken, right? The chicken coop thing. Chicken Coop is over at my studio. I'll have to go grab it and put that along the bottom. And then I could do a little chicken in a couple places. And I could do that in red. I could do a little red chicken and Chicken Coop along the bottom. Or I could do it like this. Oh, I think maybe I like that better. The symmetry of those things, but I want this to be kind of up here and this to be down here maybe. And then the chicken's going along this edge. Or I could do this right here and have the chickens come along here at the bottom. That is definitely the downside to, I have this fabulous rented studio space where I hold my crops. My house is on a hill. I scrapbook in the basement, and for a long time I did have crops here, but people had to schlep their stuff downstairs, and that was, 10 years ago. People brought a lot less stuff. Now I got people that come in with wagons, and I think they are glad that they don't have to do that. But it does mean that anything that's current, if I want to use it for something like this, I have to remember to bring it home, and I didn't think to bring it home. So I will stop the video for now. I might go eat dinner and then run over to the studio. It's only like a mile and a half from my house. It doesn't take me very long. And then I'll come back, and I still am not sure about the waffle. I feel like it needs something else. Maybe it needs some color. Like maybe it needs a little, if I do this, I'm going to be committed. But I think maybe it needs like just a little, like the inside, so that you don't really see that it's, I'm committed. You don't really see that it's like a lattice. Using the thick end of my brown pen. Okay, I think this might be it. Maybe I even need to cut some squares to go in the middle. I don't know. But I think maybe I like this better, but maybe I just ruined it. This might have been the wrong color brown. All right, so now I've colored in this part of the waffle, and I don't know what I think. I mean, I think it looks more like a waffle now than it did before. Maybe I need to color in those squares or cut some little brown, but then I have to trim them on that side. Blah. I mean, I think it's more waffly. So I do like that part, that it's more waffly. Oh, I had that way, didn't I? Because my cup up and down like that. All right, when I do this, I think I will, like my edge is not lined up perfectly straight. I'm gonna have to, actually I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna take my pen and we're just gonna do this. Okay. That's okay. That's a waffle. Looks more like a waffle, and it's definitely more dramatic. You notice it more than you do with this one that's just plain. So I think I mean, obviously I'm going to do that, but I think I'm going to do red. Maybe I'll do little white chickens. I'll punch it in red and then I'll punch it in white. So I have little white chickens and little red chicken coops along here on the bottom. So yeah, I'll be back. You guys won't know, but I'm going to stop the camera, go do some things, come back, and we'll finish this up. All right, I am back. It's actually the next day, but I went ahead and traced around all these little waffle pieces. I ended up replacing one because I kind of messed up, and I don't really love how exactly that looks. As I was doing this one, I realized that maybe I should have just done like 2 sides, or this one where I just forgot to do the other side. But that's all right, it's fine. So that's gonna go right here. And then I got the Chicken Coop border punch. It has more on it than I remembered. It's got the rooster, the chicken, the baby chick, and then the little house. And so I think to do this, I'm gonna have to do a multi-layer border. I wanna put it across the bottom. And the Chicken Coop, I think I'm gonna do in brown. I'm gonna do the whole thing. So like the dirt and the Chicken Coop are gonna be in brown. It is an attached punch, it looks like. It doesn't look like it's a chain. So let's take some of the rich, hot fudge. It's called hot fudge cardstock. I really didn't think I was ever going to have a need for this guy. And yet here I am using it the first month I had it. All right. So there's the first one. Actually, we're kind of at a weird angle here, and I hope you're not hearing my son is doing laundry upstairs right above my head, and it's a little bit loud. We'll zoom back down. All right, so now I want to cut this. I'm going to do 2 of them, but I won't make you watch. And I want to have about 1/4 inch, so we'll put the edge of the cut part on the edge of the gray line right there. Cut this down. And then I want the little chicken, the legs, I think, to be yellow. Oh gosh, I would love to do these in like multicolor, because I would love for the beaks to be yellow too. Ugh, I don't know how much of this we want to do, how many layers we want to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and punch another row of the Chicken Coops, and we're gonna do a lot of kind of surgical cutting and layering, and it's gonna be fiddly, but you all know that that's kind of what I like. Let's see, I'll zoom out a smidge, because otherwise I'm way off the screen. I'm having to kind of lean in to be able to make sure that I'm lining this up correctly. Our chicken's white. Some chickens are white, but some chickens are brown. Maybe I don't want white chickens. I pulled out white, and I pulled out the white, not the bright white. I think that's going to be okay. I think we'll do those. So I'll do 1 row of white chickens. And 1 row of red, mostly just for the little tail feathers. I kind of like the idea of having red tail feathers. Do grilled chickens have a little red thing on top of their heads? I don't know. I don't know. All right, so you get 5 designs across with one of these border punches. Okay, so I want, I was gonna put this on the back and then glue all the other pieces on top. I definitely want those little baby chicks. I'm gonna use my microchip scissors. Oh, where'd he go? There he went. This is a little fiddly. And I think it actually might have been easier if I would have cut the, you know what? I'm just gonna cut this off like this. Here's my little chickens. I might need a glue pen for this because I want the chicken legs to be yellow too. It's much easier to just cut across that bottom of the chicken coop than to try and get my scissors in there. Then we're going to cut off these chickens. Actually, I think I'm going to use my trimmer to cut the chickens off. I suppose I could have done all of that. Okay. Well, didn't quite get it on there, but this is still going to be faster. So here's all my chickens, and I will zoom through some of this so you guys don't have to see me fussy cutting all this stuff out. I pulled out my little tray. This is a great use for this little embellishment tray to keep all my tiny pieces together. I did bring home a precision point adhesive, didn't I, for a couple of layouts ago. So hopefully it's still right here. Okay. And then we kind of want the same thing for the other roosters. I just want the tail. So I'm going to cut a little bit higher up just so I don't have to cut as much of the chickens. I won't have to fussy cut those. This is going to take a while, but I'm excited about it. Oh, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Thank you for letting me have this opportunity to play with some chickens. I've got a bunch of these little chicken coop, red barns. They'd be good for something. And finally, the chickens. I want to do the bottom of the chicken. I get the bottom of the girl chickens, but I'm going to have to trim the boy chickens down a little bit. I know they're roosters. I kind of didn't quite get that on. All right. There are lots faster ways to scrapbook. I had somebody drop by my studio a week or two ago who wants to make a gift album, and she wants to have it done by the end of July. And she dropped in like the last week of June. She's never scrapbooked before. And it was interesting to kind of have a conversation with her about what her options might be for scrapbooking and realistically how long things are going to take. But thankfully, she says, I want really simple, really basic. I want it to be all about the photos. And we can do that. That's easy to do. All right, so here's my glue pen. I wonder if I can get this a little bit this way toward me. And I think what we're going to do first is the yellow, just the beak. I think I want the legs and the beak. So I'm just going to cut off like the crown and the tail. I wonder if that will work. Just like that. It gives me the legs and the beak. Oh, then I think what I want is the put the red. I'll trim this off. I want the red first. Put the red down first. Okay, zoom back down. Okay, so here we're going to put the red down first, and then we'll put the yellow, just the legs and the beak. I might have to cut off that little tummy. And then we'll take the white, and I'll cut off the beak. Oh, that little thing at the bottom on the rooster, right? Doesn't it have that little wattle? So that needs to be red. So rooster, beak and legs. Take off the beak, the legs. And I think I want the tail to be red. Even though I don't know if a rooster is really if their legs are really, or if their tails are actually red or if they're still white. So there's how it will look with a white. Now I want the red tail for sure. So we're just kind of cutting, just kind of following the lines of the rooster. All right, now let's find my mat. Oh, all of that was off screen. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll do another one. Okay, that looks really cute. I think that's what I want. Okay, so I just did that one all off screen. That was unintentional. So now I think I've got my camera positioned better. So I'm going to redo and show you what I did. So the red rooster, we keep everything. I think I don't even need to cut off the legs because we're going to cover that up. So the red rooster goes down first. Then the yellow rooster, we want the legs, but I'm going to cut off the belly and this little wattle. And the top, I just want the beak. And I'm just going to cut down like that. All right. And then this last one, we're going to cut off the wattle, the beak, and the crown, whatever that thing is called, the crest. Obviously, I'm not up on my chicken parts. And we'll just cut the little tail off because I do like the red tail, even though that might not be accurate. Too bad. Okay, so now I'll build it again on camera for you this time. And we'll do the and I could use tweezers or something probably for this, but hopefully I don't need to. All right, now I need the legs and the beak. That's a little, maybe too much glue. Position that with the beak. I maybe could have gone a little farther off to let more of that wattle come through. My vision is not what it used to be, and I'm having trouble seeing this. And then the last little bit is the body of the rooster. Oh, it's so cute. Uh-oh, this is not line covering up. Cover up the... I maybe cut a little too much off the edge of that, the back side of this chicken. There we go. So cute. And I think I'll do the girl similarly. We'll do the red first. Because it just, I think I'll do the tail. I think they'll both have little red tails. And then we'll take just the head off of here. And I'm just going to cut all the way kind of like here. Cut her little belly off. She doesn't have a wattle. But I don't know if that's true chicken not geography, biology, I don't know. So we'll do this one next. So I do think that this is going to take me longer than probably I had anticipated. If you're new here, that is not unusual. I get these wild hairs and then decide I don't care how long it takes. Cut off the little crown, cut off the beak. And I don't know that I need to do all of these because some of them might be covered by pictures. So I almost hate to spend the time doing all of the chickens. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. So fun little chicken. Look how cute they are. And then we'll put the little baby chicken right on here, and it's just going to be one baby chicken. It's just going to be yellow all the way. I probably should use my little picker up for this, but it's too tiny to do anything else with. Ha ha ha. That is really, really cute to do with the chickens. I kind of almost wish that we did the red barn. We'll take the oh yeah. What do you think? Ah, the red barn. I think the red barn needs to be on there. Darn it. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just punch out the brown and stick this all down and finish my layout except for all of this because this is a little bit tedious, and I'll just do this at the end. So I can finish the rest of the layout. But oh my goodness. I think I might need to have a picture of this and put this on my Facebook. That is freaking adorable. Guys, oh my gosh, I have a problem. Okay, I need one more brown strip, and then all the rest of this I'll do off camera, and maybe I'll probably just, like, a lot of times I just let the camera roll and then I just edit all out, but I might turn my camera off. I'm actually listening to an audiobook right now called The Spaceship Next Door. I'm having a good time with it, so kind of want to listen to my book. All right, so we'll punch one more row of, and I'll have to punch all of them again, but for putting my layout together, because some of it's going to be covered with pictures, I don't need to spend the time to fill in all, do all the layering. But boy, you guys, it's so cute. It's making me so happy. I am a nut. I know that I am. But I like me, so thanks for liking me too. Okay, now we're gonna cut this off. Again, I'm lining the punched edge up with the far side of the gray mat, which is a 1/4 inch line. And now I'm thinking, maybe I need to mat these photos. And I don't remember exactly how I had them. I know this was going to be up here at the top. We're going to do this. Do we want the chickens to go over the waffles, or do we want the chickens to go under the waffles? I kind of like it over the waffles, just because of this little guy. So cute. All right. There we go, back on screen. I think I'm going to put this right down under here, under this little border edge. So you kind of get the little fence in the background too. I think that adds even a little bit more to the border. I could put this on a border strip as well, but I think it's already a lot of layers. So I know that we had Alex eating his waffle, everybody eating their waffle. This one, and I'm gonna cover up the border, even though it's so cute. I need to remind myself the purpose of this kind of scrapbooking, or scrapbooking just in general, is of course that I want to, oh, see, this one's gotta go on this side. Is for my pictures and not for my cute little dang chicken border. We'll do it like that. I'll do it like that. Like that. This is the before, and this is the after. Darn it, I don't want to cover up two of my chickens. I can do that. Okay, so let's do this, stick this guy down. And again, I'm going to line this up so that the top, kind of the line that everything's sitting on, is right under this little white picket fence thing. Okay, there you go, little chickens. And then we'll do the same thing right here. I don't think I need to map my, oh, first I need to put this down. I'll put the waffle down. All the way down here along the bottom. I don't know if I actually stuck the tops down. I guess I did. It's gonna be a little bit harder, so I'm gonna use my grid. That helps me make sure that this guy is straight. Oh my goodness, I love this little chicken coop bunch. All right, we'll put the pictures down. That is not actually the best picture of Alex, probably. Sometimes I try to get candid photos and they're a little too candid. But it had been a long day. We were really glad to get food. And these I maybe need to put just a little bit down so that I can, I'm not going to stick the bottoms because I'm going to have to come in and cover up some of the chickens, or uncover some of the chickens. Interestingly, this one was lighter than this one, so when I picked it up, I could feel that it was lighter. That doesn't usually happen. It's just a coincidence that my repo is almost empty. And this one I was going to tuck behind, right? Oh, I'm going to tuck it behind, but I already stuck my guy down. Repo to the rescue. That is going to mean I've got to do a little bit more chicken decorating, but I'm okay with that. All right, so these, I think I need a little extra adhesive on here, stick down on top of that waffle. And then this one, I think I want this down a little bit more so it's not just sitting on that line. I want it to be down a smidge. Do I want it to be aligned with this top one? I want to be aligned. I think I want to be aligned with the bottom one down here. I always like there to be, you know, some kind of visual lines. I don't like it on my layouts when, you know, things don't line up. I like the, I don't know, I just feel like it gives me a better look if things, you know, if I have some lines that are the same rather than all, you know, all the lines just kind of doing their own thing. Looks like I wrote on this, or somebody wrote on this. I don't think I did. It must have come from the printer that way. Now I'm going to put a little bit extra on this corner to go on the waffle. Oh, I could actually do, because this is a full 4x6, and this is just a 4 by 5.3. I think I could do it like that. And then it comes here. And really, this works well as a, how do I decide which one is straight? That actually looks like it's a little straight and a little crooked in the other direction. It's hard because there is a little bit of an angled line on this paper. And so it's, oh, I didn't stick this one down. Oh. All right. Luckily, it's not too late. Except that corner, I put all the extra adhesive on. Right up here to the edge. All right. Straight, straight. Now this guy needs to be straight. Yeah, there's a diagonal line. I'll lift it up in a second and I'll show you. And that's making this feel, I'm having a little trouble telling what is straight because of this little diagonal line in the paper. But that's where we are so far. I'm going to stop the video and put together the rest of the chicken border and do a little bit of journaling. I think this could count as a title, as a, you know, title for the page. I'm trying really hard on this layout not to do titles on every page. Oh, and I just noticed I didn't do around the outside of this with the brown pen. So I'll do that too. And then I think we might be done. I think we might be done. So yeah, let me magically put that all together and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm done. It did take me probably 30 minutes to do all these darn little chickens, but they're so daggone cute. And then I put one little chicken house up here and one little rooster at the top just as extra embellishments. I feel like it needed something else up there to offset these down here, but I didn't want to do too much. And what other embellishments would I have besides chicken to go with my waffles? So I'm very pleased with this. It's a little bit silly. I think I could have gotten away with, you know, cropping this down and putting it on a border, having a border around the edges. I might have liked that, but I think it does what I wanted it to do. It tells the waffle story. Part of me is almost wondering if I should put the waffle this way up here to be more, it's kind of symmetrical, but I think I'm gonna leave it up there. One of the things that I've noticed is happening as I do these videos is after, you know, after these posts, my daughters do watch these videos. Hello, girls. And Michelle will text me and say, oh, you forgot such and such. And she remembers so much better than I do. So I tried to text her and Katie to see if they remember, like, was there a specific reason we picked Roscoe's Chicken Waffles? They must be doing other things. Didn't text me back. I Googled it. Apparently it's just like a famous, you know, LA icon restaurant. So it was yummy. We sat up on the balcony. I put that in the journaling. And yeah, we had a good time with our waffles. And if I think of if they remember any more journaling, I can just put a little piece probably right here. I'll just put it over the waffle. But yeah, what do you think? Should I move this to horizontal? Should I make it vertical? Part of me wants to make it vertical. I don't know. Will that be more visually pleasing? But I kind of want that. I don't know what I want. I thought about putting a title across there, but I'm using this as my title. So your input is welcome. And I'm very pleased with it. I never really thought that I would use this quite so soon. I was like, somehow I'm going to find a way to use this little darn Chicken Coop border punch that just came out in June, but I didn't realize I was going to be able to use it so soon. So thank you, Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles. And I hope it's not too macabre, I guess, to have waffles and chicken on my chicken and waffles. But thanks for watching. This is episode 4, layout number 4 in Theme Park Thursday Series 2. And I'll be back next Thursday with another edition of our series. And until then, happy scrapbooking.